So the Downing report pointed to a series of mishaps before and during the construction of the building. So this includes the registration and certification process, which was grossly flawed and non-compliant.
The investigation into this process revealed significant irregularities in their registration process. The company in question inaccurately presented its capabilities during the registration phase. Amongst other things, it failed to declare its intention to construct a multi-story building. This omission, by its very nature, breached the NHBR policies, which require transparency regarding a home builder intended project scope with regard to the test of the technical capacity as to whether as an entity or a company are you able to build. Have you ever built a project of this nature, size bigger or smaller? So by passing this rigorous process, a company in question compromised its registration and certification of the project. With regard to the enrollment certification process, the enrollment process demonstrated significant non-compliance with the NHBRC enrollment procedures, resulting in critical regulatory breaches and unauthorized approvals. For example, the enrollment forms were processed on the 11th July 2023, even though the construction date was scheduled to start for the 19th June or had already started on the 19th June 2023. Again, the officials did not verify that a home builder was registered to construct, despite the building plans showing that this was indeed a multi-story building or a multi-story enrollment. Thus, a contractor was allowed to proceed with the construction of a multi-story building without the proper enrollment process for a multi-story building. Even more disturbing was the unlawful use of other officials' credentials to enroll the first phase of the project. This actually demonstrated the breakdown in NHBRC internal processes.
Well, not only has the construction company been now referred to the South African Police Service, but also 5 National Home Builders Registration Council employees, which include the currently suspended CEO.
There are 5 who have been charged, who are on suspension already. We have got a number of colleagues who, in our system, in the NHBRC, as employees, who were responsible for some of the steps which were not adhered to, who have already been placed on suspension, including the CEO. There are charges which were referred further for SAPS investigation in areas where, as NHBRC, we do not carry a mandate to go beyond.
Amongst the recommendations now is that a task team look into high-risk buildings and that the technical managers be full-time on site.
These recommendations include, amongst others, NHBRC registration certificate must state clearly the type of the building a home builder or a builder is registered to construct. Also, NHBRC must establish a dedicated or an ad hoc peer review team to independently review high-risk projects such as multi-story buildings, meaning you can't be a player and a referee at the same time. You approve your process on high complex building. You don't even have someone who says, okay, let me just double check what you have done, if it's aligned with the standard of the industry. So we need to conduct comprehensive competency skills audit of inspectors as well, and develop thorough due diligence processes to evaluate all information submitted during the verification process. Yes, you can list that this person is qualified, this and that, but a thorough investigation and proof with regard to their qualification and technical expertise needs to be improved. The report went further to recommend that technical managers must be full-time on site during critical stages of construction. that inspection be conducted within 5 days as per our scheduled NHBRC guidelines, and that NHBRC staff must not be allowed to use another staff member login credentials for approval or for verification processes.
However, as no arrests have yet been made, justice for the families of the deceased and the survivors is still being sought. And other high-risk buildings in other areas are also now under the microscope. Crisalda Lewis, SABC News in Pretoria.